In this video, I put ChatGPT up against Google Bard to see which chatbot is the reigning king and supreme for you. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel Carrillo. Thank you for joining in. If you're an educator who's into educational technology and food, then make sure you subscribe because this is the channel for you. And while you're here, make sure you like, comment, and interact with the video and watch the previous videos. And like I said, make sure that you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell. That way you get notified when new videos like this are published and uploaded. And like I said in the intro, let's put ChatGPT and Google Bard up against each other to see who the reigning king of chatbots really is. So if you've been following me on social media, you'll notice that about 3 weeks ago, I kind of was a little bit overwhelmed with artificial intelligence and the chat of AI and all that going on to the point where I was AI'd out. I then took a break because I had signed up for Google Bard, Adobe Firefly, Canva has got new AI features with their Canva Create stuff that they just rolled out. So more and more is on its way as well. So I was just a little bit AI'd out. And with that being said, I'm back and I'm going to put the top two chatbots up against each other by asking each of these two chatbots 3 specific questions or tasks to do. The tasks are as follows. I'm going to ask each one about the EdTech Bytes podcast to see if it brings up actual relevant and correct information. I'm also going to have it generate HTML code to create a button to put on a Google website. And I'm also going to throw a paragraph with lots of grammatical, syntax, spelling, punctuation errors to see how well and accurate it can actually correct those. After each task, I'm going to award the chatbot, the winning chatbot for that particular round, 1 point based on how accurate and well it produces that artifact. At the end of the video, we're going to tally up the points to see who the reigning champ of AI chatbots is. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is user interface. The first one we're going to look at here is ChatGPT. Very clean interface. If you've never used ChatGPT, if this is your first time even looking at the interface, it's very simple. I have the dark mode on, but you can always turn that off if you don't like that. And it's got your field, your prompt here to ask it. It's got a couple of examples, capabilities, and limitations here. And what I really like about it is it keeps a running record of your chats. That way you can go back to them and see your results. Pretty clean, if you ask me. Now, let's take a look at Google Bard. Here's Google Bard. Pretty simple interface here. You have your prompt where you can ask information, your submit. It does have voice input because it is essentially run by Google. However, the one thing that I don't really like about Google Bard is you can't go back to your previous chats. I can always go to my Bard activity, and if I click on that, it gives me my activity that I've punched in and I've searched. However, there's no way to actually look and see what the prompt, what the results of the prompt were, what it spit back at me. The only thing that you can really do is delete all your activity for last hour, last day, 24 hours, or what have you, but there is no real running record with the results that it actually came back to you. So I will say that that one little aspect kind of, in my opinion, puts GPT at a little advantage. But for this round, we're specifically looking at user interface. So in my opinion, both of these have a very, very clean interface. And for UI, I'm going to have to go with a tie on this one. Both ChatGPT and Google Bard, clean, simple interfaces. They both get 1 point from me. And the next round is ease of use. Let's look into that. Looking at ChatGPT first, you'll notice, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's got that running record. I mean, I can type in a prompt here. What are the ABCs? And it just spits it out. It does it very well. And not only that, it will actually put the actual new chat here. If I wanted to regenerate a response, it does that pretty well. Let's ask that same prompt, what are the ABCs, to Google Bard. and see its ease of use. Same thing, all I did was hit enter on the keyboard. You can also click on that arrow and it'll throw that information out to you. And here it is. Pretty simple. I can give it a thumbs up. I can give it a thumbs down to kind of help train the AI. And I can also regenerate the response if I wanted to, just like you can with ChatGPT. They both do a very, very good job at this task and the ease of use. But for this round, I'm going to have to give the advantage to ChatGPT because of the running record that it keeps and the fact that you can go back and see the information, all your prompts and your follow-up questions. You can't do that with Google Bard, at least yet. So the advantage does go to ChatGPT for ease of use. 1 point ChatGPT and 0 for Google Bard on ease of use. Not to say that it's a bad tool, just ChatGPT takes the cake on this one. Next task is, what is the EdTech Bytes podcast? What are some of the latest episodes of the EdTech Bytes podcast? So let's go right to ChatGPT. Let's get a new chat going and let's ask it that question here. The podcast and show has been around since 2017. ChatGPT doesn't necessarily have connections to the internet, so it shouldn't have too much difficulty finding this information based on the fact that it can look up relatively accurate information pre-2021. The EdTech Bytes podcast is a podcast that focuses on the intersection of education and technology with particular emphasis on educational technology tools, strategies, and so on and so forth. So it did pull up some information that is pretty accurate to the podcast, and it's still generating content. There we go, and it went ahead and put that information off to the side. It has my name, so good for you, ChatGPT. However, the future of learning spaces with Dr. Robert Dillon. A big shout out to Dr. Robert Dillon, whoever you are. I've never met you, man. I've never even had you on my show. So this information is not necessarily the most accurate. I did have a conversation with Dr. Monica Burns, too, as a matter of fact. So that is correct here. However, the episode number I will say is off. So I don't know exactly where it's pulling from, but I could tell you right now that the majority of this information as far as episode numbers and that and content is not accurate, but it does have my name attached to it and it does know who I am. So very interesting. Let's see if Google Bard can get us some more accurate information, being that it is connected to the internet because it is a part of Google. So here we go. Let's enter that prompt and hit enter, and let's see what we come back with. Check that out. I'm a language model and don't have the capacity to help with that. Hot dog, Google. Come on, man. All right. So Google Bard, I'm going to have to give you a 0 on this one because you literally did not give me any information and you are connected to the internet. ChatGPT, you gave us some information, but man, was that stuff pretty inaccurate. So I'm going to have to go 0.5 points to Google Bard. I'm sorry, to ChatGPT, and 0 to Google Bard on task 1, which is what is the EdTech Bytes podcast, and give me some examples of content that this dude has produced. All right, the next piece of information that we are going to ask both of these chatbots is to create an HTML code. For this one, I'm very specific. I want it to create an HTML code for a button. I want that button to be blue and I want the text to say click here. And when they click here, I want that button to take them to my homepage. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT and Google Bard to do this. We're going to paste that HTML code into a Google site that I have, and let's see how accurate they are. Let's start with ChatGPT. Here we go. Create the HTML code for a blue button that says click here and links to the EdTech Bytes podcast. I'm sorry, to edtechbytes.com. So it's generating the code. Let's see what happens here. All right, let's copy that code and let's go over to our site here, just a basic Google site. And I'm going to add some embed code, and look at that. Let's insert that button. Now to test to see if it actually works, we have to go into preview mode. Voila. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. It took to my homepage, edtechbytes.com. If you haven't already checked it out and signed up for the newsletter, make sure you do so. That way you're up to date. All right, ChatGPT, you turned it around. All right, let's see what Google Bard can do for us. Let's take that same request, type it directly into Google Bard, and see what it comes up with. Oh, look at that. Create an HTML code for a blue button to put on my Google site. The text in the button should display click here when you click on it, and it takes you to edtechbytes.com. Google Bard, you're connected to the internet, buddy. I'm just a language model, so I can't help you with that. So we're going to have to go 1 point for ChatGPT, 0 for Google Bard on creating HTML code to input into a simple Google site. All right, the third and final task that we are going to ask these two chatbots is to fix a paragraph of information that's got a whole bunch of errors in it. So let's get right to it. I've got the paragraph copied, ready to go. So let's input the request and paste that paragraph, and let's see what these two chatbots can do for us. Okay. Please fix the following paragraph. There are many grammatical, spelling, punctuation, and syntax errors. And I'm going to go ahead and paste the paragraph. And I've put it in quotation marks. So let's see what ChatGPT can come up with. The original paragraph says sharks is fish and they have a cool life cycle. They start as eggs, which is laid by the female sharks, comma, and after that the egg hatches, and so on and so forth. You could check out the paragraph here and you could see all the grammatical errors. And here's what ChatGPT came up with. Sharks are fish and have a fascinating life cycle. Interesting word choice there, ChatGPT. And as you go on and read the rest of this, you'll notice that it does a pretty good job. It actually spiced up the word choice. It has commas in the correct places. It's got punctuation where it should be. It's got capital letters. I haven't seen any syntax errors, so looks good to me. Let's grab this same prompt here and let's see what Google Bard can do for us. So let's go back to Google Bard and let's go ahead and paste this. Oh, check that out. It actually makes a list of everything that it fixed for us. But where's the, oh, here are the errors. Okay. Sharks are fish and they have a cool life cycle. So ChatGPT, fascinating. Google Bard, cool. Okay. Acceptable. I'll definitely take it. These baby sharks are very small and can't do much except for swimming and eating. As they grow up, they become bigger and stronger and they start hunting other fish. Okay, so you guys can check out the rest of this paragraph, but I think it's pretty cool that it listed the changes. ChatGPT did not do that for us. So, and if you read this paragraph, it's pretty accurate. Would I turn this in as a college student or a high school student? No, I probably would make some corrections to it, or not even corrections, but I would look at the word choice and maybe some of the sentences can possibly be condensed or even expound upon, but not bad. I mean, not bad at all. So with this one here, I think I'm going to have to go 1 point for both ChatGPT and 1 point for Google Bard in the showdown of fixing an existing paragraph to fix grammatical, syntactical, if that's even a word, and other errors within that paragraph. So now that we've done the official throwdown, we've got all the tasks. We asked it for 3 tasks. We've also looked at the user interface and the ease of use. Let's do a quick breakdown of the points, all right? So for user interface, Google Bard and ChatGPT both get 1 point. When we look at ease of use, ChatGPT takes the 1 point in this round because of the fact that it keeps that history of what you've been asking it, and you can easily recall it and go back and forth and grab the responses that it generated. So 1 point for that. for ChatGPT. Now, task 1, where we asked both of these about the EdTech Bytes podcast. 1 point for ChatGPT on this one and 0 for Google Bard. Task number 2, create code in HTML to put on a Google site for a simple button. We got 1 point for ChatGPT for taking that. Google Bard could not do that. The last one is correcting for grammar, spelling, punctuation, and syntax. Both chatbots did very well. So we're giving both of these 1 point each. That brings our grand total of 6 points for ChatGPT and 2 points for Google Bard, which makes the ultimate winner in this AI chatbot throwdown, whichever one you prefer. As you start using both of these chatbots, you'll notice that they start getting a little bit better. I've been using Google Bard for about 3 weeks now. It's gotten better than when I first started playing around with it. Not nowhere near where ChatGPT is, but depending on what you're asking it and what you're having it do, the clear winner is unclear. It's completely up to you and your choice. So we'll have to revisit this in the near future to see what improvements come out and how both of these platforms just grow and continue to be a part of our everyday lives. So that does it for this particular video, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check out the previous videos. And if you haven't already played around with ChatGPT or Google Bard, maybe you don't have access to it yet, be on the lookout, get on that wait list if you're not already on it. And then ChatGPT is free for right now, at least, and play around with it and start getting accustomed to it and the different prompts. There's endless resources out there. So make sure you check those out. And that does it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Buen provecho.